Welcome to episode number 2 of the Recovery Lab podcast. Joining me today is Julio Sanchez, my partner in crime, and of course myself, Matt Uram. Welcome. Today we're going to talk about the transition between treatment and recovery. How you manage that, how you maneuver getting through it. And it doesn't matter. It's whether you're leaving the city mission, whether you're leaving Gateway, the Briar Patch, Cove Forge. You got to get a plan together. And you've got to make some really strong decisions on how you move your recovery forward in the right direction. Julio, you're going to be a great example to this because you've been a success. Now, you've had a number of transitions. And that's okay. There is a methodology to going through different types of treatment till you finally get that Goldilocks moment where the porridge is just right, the bed is just right, and you're ready to move forward with your life. Tell me what some of the biggest obstacles in front of you when you came out of treatment, regardless of which one it was.
Well, my first treatment, where I was actually going into detox, I forget where I was at, and I was brought to Pittsburgh. It was a facility out there. I thought just going through a detox program would work, but my big plan was to go back home.
Oh, back to the city.
Back into Washington.
Washpaw. Got it. Washpaw.
And it didn't work.
Didn't go quite the way you thought it would go.
First treatment, and I seen it as my years going through treatment. The people that want to just go through detox and then go back home, it's
strengthen
like,
that body
stop.
It's not the way to do it.
It's not.
Do you think that is like a subconscious thing where hey, I'm going to get stronger because I'm going to detox. I'll be able to party more. I'll be able to handle it and start from point zero, not let it get out of control. I'm going to manage my addiction. I'm going to use, but I'll have it under control this time. Does that go through your brain?
Every thought possible goes through your brain. I know for me, when I went into the detox, I was still selling heroin. Huh. So I figured, if I stopped using heroin, I could sell and keep more of my money. And I truly believed that by me going to detox and coming home, I was going to be okay.
In theory, I see that would work. But when you take it out of theory and practicality, how did that go?
Not good. It took about 15 minutes by the time I started using again. I get a call for a sale, and as soon as I took it out, it was no question. It was answered. In my head, I said, I'm doing this. And
conscious effort.
Yeah.
How quick did it spiral out of control from that point?
Fast.
Fast.
And at that time, I wasn't the addict that was really suffering and trying to get the money to use. I had everything already. I accumulated so much, and as time went on, and I figured, well, now I got to stop selling heroin in order to stop using heroin. That didn't work.
That didn't work either.
No, because now everything I have accumulated by the sales of the drug, I start selling. Now I became the other type of addict. So that's the spiral from.
What is that other type of addict? Tell me what that person's made of.
Strong person. They may look weak in the streets and don't take care of themselves much or anything, but they could go through the heaviest of storms.
Got it.
There's people in life that are in great situations, but if they was to try to handle one day of an addict, they would not survive.
Well, there is something about that survival mode inside the addict, especially someone that's gone through the throes of it. Mm-hmm. They are strong, and if they ever do get to the point of recovery, if they ever do get to the point where they have a sound mind again, they can be a very strong individual because they've overcome things that others could not or have not overcome. They would have no idea what they've seen. So when I look at coming out of treatment, I think you got to have, we've talked about how abstinence in meetings isn't enough. So the first thing you're going to be told about everywhere you go is abstinence in meetings. How do you address housing? How do you address transportation? How do you address employment as you're coming out? Or do most treatment facilities say, hey, you need to get an aftercare program as you transition out?
So that is the in treatment centers, they tell you to write out, your goals. And most
Cathartic.
of it, yeah. And it's basically what you're gonna do when you get out. What they feel you should do also. Do IOP, go to meetings and things like that. Which it's very, I think it's very important to do those things.
I agree 100%.
At the beginning.
Let me make sure I preface that again. I believe in meetings. I believe in abstinence, of course. I just don't believe that those are the only two things you have to practice upon your exit into the world again.
You got to start getting that brain firing again towards new goals in your life, Once those start firing, you start feeling more hope in your life,
Love that.
And as you continue to feel that hope and seeing that there's people behind you to help guide you, it pushes you further into what may have been your dreams as a younger kid.
Do you think success can be based on being afraid to fail for the people you love? Do people fall back into that? Because you've really got to do it for yourself. But if you're in the mindset, hey, I'm doing this for mom and dad, I'm doing this for my wife, I'm doing it for my kids, can you be successful with that mentality? Or do you have to center on yourself first?
There's people that do make it, but it's a very low percentage. Myself, I thought I had to do this for my wife. I'm my sister's only brother. I'm the only boy.
Dude, you take care of everyone.
And it's like I got to do this for my sisters. I seen the pain I caused in their lives. And I kept on wanting to do it for everybody else except for myself. And that led to a continuous spiral downwards. It wasn't until I said no, forget everybody else. They're going to have to wait till I do this for myself. Because, everybody talks about themselves. Look what you're doing to me. Look what you're doing to me. I had to feel the pressure of, look what I'm doing to myself.
You got to love yourself first.
Yes.
And that's tough. That's not an easy you got the guilt that falls on you. You got the haunting thoughts of using, the haunting thoughts of searching, the haunting thoughts of things you did or saw in the street when you were in the throes of it. It takes a little MH work to get through that. You got to get a doctor and really drill down on being able to forgive yourself. And I think you can do that in a lot of different ways. You can do that with talking to your family. You can do that with talking to your pastor, or you can talk that way through with your basic mental health therapy. Yeah. And there are a lot of people I know when they transition, they get on a happy pill, we'll call it. We could go down the list of 20 different pills that are given out to different people for different reasons. But there's a residue that will carry with you. Now, what I like to see is that residue get turned around over a period of time where you're like, look what I've done. I've changed my life. I've gone through the hardest thing I'm ever going to do. Everything else I have to face in life has to come easier than what I just went through to get clean. Did you see yourself getting to where you are today? Did you ever feel that you'd have the satisfaction you get every day as you come into this building, whether you're working with the Oculus, whether you're working on this podcast, whether you're with the T-shirt company, regardless, whether you're balancing all the meetings we have in this building, whether you're balancing Legacy Church. Listen to that litany of things that's going around your coconut on a day-to-day basis which is a lot easier to deal with than searching for that drug, searching how to pay for it. The guilt. How did you see it? Did you picture this when you were coming out of treatment and it was actually starting to take hold?
I never imagined having the life I have today. That's for one. Like, never imagined it. I was still caught up in a lifestyle of doing the wrong thing still to get by. And it wasn't until, I got about 18 months clean and, my brain started rewiring and I started to, instead of destroy, I wanted to help. I always been a helpful person. I always have feelings for people. Although I have done some wrong things, I still had love for people.
I love that.
It's just it's all I knew. That was my circle. I didn't know nothing else.
We haven't gotten your full story out there yet, and we will eventually. But when you've told me the things about Webster Avenue, frickin' Rikers Island, you were about as real could be.
Oh yeah.
In the gangster lifestyle.
Yeah.
Would you have considered that you were in the gangster lifestyle, basically?
Oh man. The gangster lifestyle. I'm still, I still connect with people that are still in the gang.
Right.
And I've become a person that they actually reach out to now because they see the change that I have done in my life, and they talk to me. And these are people, man. Like, listen, I talk to killers, and I know, and it's like they talking to me. These are people that I would never want to get into a war with. It's gonna be death. One of us is gonna die. There's no survivors.
There's nothing in the middle.
I've witnessed my friends kill each other. Friends go against each other. That's why, I'm still trying to learn in this process also, because I still don't trust people completely.
Right.
And I don't know how to get that out of me, My sponsor tries to talk to me about it. It's just a handful of people that I could really talk to. And you are one of them.
Oh, I love that.
You are one of them people that I could sit there and talk to about certain things, and I could trust that what I'm saying is protected.
That means a lot to me. We've grown together in this business, and that's important. Yeah. But you show me a perspective. Some of the conversations we had, like whenever you did go into Rikers for whatever many years it was, you immediately got under the work crew. You immediately found out how you wanted to survive that. Yeah. You didn't want to just sit in a cell, lift weights. I think you were doing the laundry at that place as well as you did in the city mission. But every place that you went to, you had a plan of how you're going to survive and get through that. And I think that's another reason why your plan in treatment and recovery has worked out so well. Have there been backsliding? Yes, there has. But heroin's powerful. The gangster life is powerful. You're rolling in some dollar bills. Money was raining. And it's tough to give that up. It's not an easy thing to say, hey, I'm going to take less to be a better human being. But you did that. You made your steak thinner than what it used to be just to be a better human being. And when I see how you treat everyone and how everybody runs to you when they're in trouble, it's worked out well. Yeah. It's another reason why I know there's a God in this world, when I see somebody like you that's come through what you've come through. Now, let's look at how we encourage others to do that. I think one of the important things we can do with the Recovery Lab is helping people and making sure that they understand that we're not just a podcast, that this is a place they can come to and get honest approach to how to survive the web of confusion, the web of bad decisions.
The web of destructions.
Destructive behavior, the ways of aiming back. Tell me this. So that first day, do you ever do 90 days? Treatment-wise?
No.
What's the most you did?
I've did about 40 days.
So that day,
Never lasted that long.
it's okay. Everybody's got their done. But what I want to know is, when you walk out into that sunshine for the first time, what are the fleeting thoughts going through your brain? Is that first thought still, I could use right now if I want to? Or is the thought, hey, I've got the rest of my life in front of me. What can I do to make it a great life?
I'm going to use. That was my thought. And most of the time, my address would be to the dope man's house.
Are you serious?
Yes, because, they take you to rehab, the driver, and then they drive you back home. And I would always have a different address than what I came in. And it's like, no, that's not the address we picked you up from. And I'm like, no, I got to be picked up from here. Somebody's coming to get me from there because that place ain't available at the moment. And I would go straight to the dope man's house.
Straight there.
I would line it up a week, 2 weeks before. Like, hey, I'm going straight to your house.
When I get out.
When I get out. Like, freaking sick, bro. Sick.
Why didn't you do it the last time?
I was done. Something snapped in my brain, bro. Like, that's it. I was tired of the circle, man. The repeating of itself of everything I was doing. The hurt, the pain, the back and forth to the city mission, the back and forth to rehabs, the death that was going on around me, And I thank God that these last couple of years, the overdose rates and deaths have went down.
They're coming down.
Thank God. But man, years ago, people were just dying, you know what I mean? And I got all their pictures.
Stories that I hear is amazing.
There's people I would tell when I worked in rehab, friends of mine, because, I seen a lot of people I knew I used with and all that. And I would tell them, like, please don't make me put you on the reel. I put them on a Facebook reel, and most of the people that
You don't want to make that wall. You don't want to make that post.
I have. And I warned them, But it's just to get the
Well, the worst thing is you come out of treatment, you think you can use the same amount you used before, and that amount's going to kill you now. Yes. I think I told you, there's stories in Los Angeles right now that the homeless people are breeding puppies so that they can give the puppies the dope, so if the dog lives, they know it's safe. That is twisted.
Yeah.
That is twisted. But those are some of the mindsets that you have to get through to be able to get to the other side. But I think one of the messages that we have to give today is you can get to the other side. You can get to where you are today. You have to accept that you might fail on the way. But failure is not losing the game. You only lose when you stop trying.
Yeah, you grow when you fail.
You do.
Yeah, you grow.
Do you get a sense that you're getting closer after each failure?
Yes. And I accepted failure before in my life, a couple of years ago, actually. I'm 48 years old now, and it took to a couple of years ago. I got 5 years clean, and it wasn't until
April 12th, right?
Yes, April 12th.
How about that? I remember.
I made 5 years clean, and I never had that since I was like 12, 13 years old, whether it was smoking weed or alcohol, and then I got into angel dust, ecstasy. Like, my whole life has been covered up by a chemical.
You finally got to know Julio 5 years ago, or you finally got to know Julio either 5 years ago or 4 years ago, depending on how that went. So you're at the city mission here in Washington, PA, and I love the structure that they have. Not an easy place to operate when you've got 80 people there. Yeah. Easy for us to work with the numbers we work with. They've got a large number of people that they deal with on a day-to-day, weekly, monthly, yearly basis. So you did 90 days, you do 90 days at the mission. You come out of the mission. What's your first thought, and what are the resources the city of Washington offer when you're leaving the city mission?
It would be Connect Housing. So most of the time, most of the people that are at the city mission, they look into what's my next step, which will be housing. And a lot of people, like myself, has gotten into connect housing, where they pay a certain amount of the rent you for you, and also continuing going to meetings.
Good.
The mission pretty much sets you up with everything you need. They don't do things for you. They
Good.
teach
I
you
like
how
that.
to do these things, you know? And City Mission it saved my life. And
Love it.
they gracefully let me in and out of there for about 3.5 years.
And that's another place. When you got in the city mission, you immediately started doing the laundry. You kept yourself busy. You kept your mind occupied, and you worked through your program to get yourself where you are today. Now, so you've got Connect Housing, but you also got places like the Sequoia House, which is the
Yeah,
three-quarter
yes.
house. That is the Serenity Farms Inc. three-quarter house. You have a plethora of halfway houses in the city of Washington and in the surrounding suburbs. Tell me, how do you break down to what's a flop house to what's a viable halfway or three-quarter house?
Uh,
Give me 3 things you'd want to see before you'd move into a house or choose a house.
I would say structure. If I'm going to make it in any other place, I would have to see structure in the place. There's always going to be problems like people relapsing. That's going to come in every place you go to. But the structure has to remain,
I
you
like
know.
it.
And as soon as there is, a situation in the house, it needs to be dealt with very quickly, so it doesn't spread like a disease. We can't have one guy in one room relapsing, and it's all right, no problem. We're gonna get back on
You
it,
got to watch
and
the
then that
misery
goes
by
to
company. I mean, you want to take somebody with you. You don't want to go down on your own.
Yeah.
You want to have somebody to party with that short
yeah,
window that
especially
you're
if they
going to
got
have.
money,
Yeah, they got a
and-
little cabbage in their pocket. They're a good friend to you at that point.
yeah.
But would you say, being that could be a trigger point to somebody using again, should somebody give themselves an attaboy when they come across somebody using and they survive without using? Their dealer calls them up and say, hey, I got a great deal. I need your business back. And they don't do it, or they cuss the dealer out so the dealer doesn't call them again. Those are good signs we see in people, isn't it?
That is the experience I still occasionally go through
Well, you
with
told me you
bumping
found a
into
bag
people.
of meth in your car when you
Oh
were
man,
Ubering.
and
Ah.
well, it was in front of McDonald's, and it was like I never did meth in my life, so I wanted to. Never got close enough to it to
Your
use it.
teeth are too nice. There's no way we're
Yeah.
letting that. We're not
And then
letting you.
18 months clean, I'm walking into McDonald's, and what happens? I find this big bag of meth.
Unbelievable.
And I'm working at Greenbrier Rehab, and I call them because we got a destroy station that we could destroy drugs, and it was either between them and the police. I think I called the police first, and something happened, so I called Greenbrier. I was on my way up there, and the police called me back, and I brought it right to the cops.
Love it.
So
How good did
years
that
ago,
feel? How did that feel?
it felt wonderful, man.
I love
like
it.
I was very proud of myself because I've been in the situations of being clean and then either finding something or bumping into somebody, and just like that, it happens.
It's easy.
It just happens. And like at that moment, it was the biggest test of my life because, here goes this biggest bag of this thing that I've been wanting to do, and I never got my hands on, and here it is right in front of me. And I could go do it, and probably
Almost feels like it
nobody
was
would know
Christmas.
anything.
Almost like Christmas time.
Yeah.
I see it. Tell me something. All right, so does the city mission address things like, and this may sound obvious, but I don't know if it's addressed. How do you handle the real stress in life now? How do you deal with, when you're clean 2 years, how do you deal with the death of a family member? How do you deal with the loss of a job without reverting back to what makes you comfortable? because the stressors in life are amazing. When I think about how hard life has gotten over the last, since COVID, how any of us can stay sober at certain times is amazing. But how do you address that? Do you fall back and you play the clock back, play the tape back and see all the things that happen when you use so that you don't fall into that trap? I'm sure there's some people that just say, F it, I've had enough, this is too much, I just lost my apartment. What use is it being clean if everything bad's still happening to me?
Well, I know I can make things worse.
You can.
So
what's
that
rock
I
bottom?
definitely.
What's rock bottom got?
It has a basement.
I love it. It does. Rock bottom ain't the end.
It ain't the end, man. Because myself included, I've witnessed people at their lowest and continue to keep on falling lower and lower, and if it don't bring them death, and some people are comfortable with it. I know people that have been in addiction their whole life, and they don't want to change.
They don't know another world.
They don't. It's all they know. So I'm glad I got out at the time I did. Being in the lifestyle and just being around drugs my whole life. That's all I know. And it's like it's strange that I work in recovery now and I'm still around addicts, recovering addicts, alcoholics, whatever you want to say. It's like I'm still involved, but in a different way.
I think it's meant to be.
It's the perfect design, man. Like, I see my life as, like, it's scripted. It was perfectly designed by God. And, sometimes I get angry because I'm like, it's a lot of pressure.
Yep.
It's a lot of pressure.
Different kind of pressure than being on the search.
Exactly. Like I said, I know how to make things worse, and that will be using. So today, I stay with the pain.
Love it.
I stick with the pain.
Embrace the suck. I love that term.
Embrace the suck.
You're great
because
at sucking.
It's life. You know what I mean? Everybody want to be comfortable. And when you that comfortable,
it's when it hits.
It's when bad things happen. You gotta be uncomfortable at times. It's all right to get comfortable, but
don't let that guard down.
Exactly. Can't let the guard down, man.
Give me, as we close out the second episode of the Recovery Lab, give me a couple of things, a couple words of advice for people who are leaving treatment in the next couple of weeks or leaving some type of institution. What would be your main advice for them?
Take the suggestions seriously, and in these places, in treatment centers, they are very understaffed, and some people may reflect how a place is being ran, and it's because it's so understaffed because not many people want to work in recovery. But their suggestions, the ones who are there are really tough people, and if they trying to, suggest your next step, take it into consideration. Every time I took any suggestion, it worked out good.
I love that.
It worked out. When I didn't take the suggestion and I thought I was able to take care of me, I had to understand I need to be taken care of in order to take care of myself.
And it goes back to that self-love. You got to love yourself first.
Yes.
You can't do a lot in this world if you don't love yourself. And you got to let go of the pain. You got to embrace the suck of the moment, but the past is in the past. People are different when they've reached this stage. They're really trying. Some people are just trying for legal reasons.
Yeah.
They're in rehab because they had to, because of law enforcement. But there's an opportunity that they have.
Well, I've seen them snap, like people who are, sent to rehabs and then they got to get their papers signed and things like that. They go along with the game, right? But some of them people actually catch on.
By accident.
Didn't mean to do
this. I was just sitting on a grassy knoll, and then all of a sudden I'm pulled in and I'm buying it.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful win.
It's beautiful.
Julio, your inspiration is inspiring to other people. You're definitely somebody. And I think that's important as we end this.
Appreciate it.
That you're somebody that people can call. They can come to Serenity Farms Inc. They can talk to you. They can get your perspective on what they should do next. And our door's always open to anyone to help you with the transition back to having your life. But I appreciate everybody's time today. Julio, I love you like a brother. I think we were meant to be working together. There's no doubt about it. We're doing some great things here. Let's continue to do it. Got each other's back. Let's watch and let's help people move through to where you've gotten today. It's fantastic. Thank you, everyone. Look forward to talking to you again on the Recovery Lab podcast.